it's a well-documented corporate problem where, you know, the corporation that produces its products doesn't innovate because it just presumes like it's that it ain't broke, don't fix it. But meanwhile, a smaller company comes whizzing up around, right, and just takes a chunk of their market share because they looked at what was going on with that particular product and improved upon it, right? But the curse of knowledge, say at Kodak, is this is hypothetical, but you know, boardroom meeting. What's going on with all these digital cameras? They're cheap. Da, da, da. Curse of knowledge response is exactly. They're cheap, low quality. Have you seen those pictures? They're fuzzy. Who the hell? Whatever. Then no, don't worry about it. Keep producing film, because people love film, and it's much higher quality than digital, and you can manipulate it in the dark room, and don't worry about it. The world's top photographers will never use digital. Well, you know, fast forward 5 years even, and they're on the brink of collapse because digital cameras did take off. The passion. When I can tell you, I saw some research when I worked at Intel for a while. When the questions were asked, what would you like to do the most with your personal computer? And here's where we were looking for music responses, right? Number one, every time, I would love to share my photographs with my friend and family. So again, Intel, curse of knowledge. Because they weren't thinking about digital film or digital cameras at the time, disregard question one. Let's look down the list for the music and so you miss these opportunities in innovation, and it takes these outliers, the guys who started YouTube because they wanted somewhere to put their video, right? Well, the music industry's curse of knowledge started pretty early on with everyone's going to steal our music. We must sue those companies, and then we must sue our very own customers at the bottom of the chain to send a message to stop doing that, because as you know, everybody wants to buy CDs and that's the best format and da-da-da-da-da. Well, read between the lines, that's where we make all our money. Please don't damage that area. So instead of innovating and saying to Napster when they're at the table, let's all play together in this because the future has arrived. This is how people seem to be getting excited about attaining music. Whether there's a dollar figure attached to it or not is irrelevant. When Flickr started, there was no dollars attached to it. It was just a repository for photographs, and everyone loved it. Music business curse of knowledge was to put their head in the sand and deny digital, online music. And when they pulled their head out of the sand and stuck it up their ass, they started suing all their customers. And you know, honestly, legal department, the boardroom, all the way through. These are not people who understand the behavioral shift, the cultural shift, the giant cultural shift that the internet and the web brought to society. And as Terry McBride from Network said in a keynote speech, he was talking when asked about why didn't the labels do a deal with Napster? And he said, yeah, I was part of those negotiations, and they walked away from $6 billion on the table because they felt they could crush Napster, legally, and they did, but it didn't move the needle for them. And he said, you cannot litigate human behavior. And that's a very important point. If you think about it, the courts generally in Western societies, when laws are challenged, or society challenges a law, like we want to drive at 70 miles an hour, and so all these people break the law because it's 55. Well, after a while, the law gets changed because like everybody's doing it. It's out of control. Push the speed limit up in certain states to 70 miles an hour, right? If people want to access their music and they're willing to risk being sued by the RIAA, well, they did. They just went ahead and did it. And another analogy is like you can drive in the car lane, the carpool lane, on your own in a car. The chances of being caught are not very high, but as long as you're willing to risk the $230 fine, then you've got a lane to yourself for quite some time, right? And people do that. So you can't litigate behavior.